What's up, everybody? Rabid Hedgehog here at Indian of Oklahoma City. Sorry about the noise if this thing takes off. It's the only thing. Trains constantly through here. Always a bunch of noise. So today, another used bike review for you folks. One that's been requested many times. One I never really had a chance to get to. A Vulcan 900 from Kawasaki. Alright, kind of walk around it. Fuel injected, of course. This bike is a used model, of course. 2009 actually, but they haven't changed very much for well over a decade now. This has about 6,340 miles on it or so. Little extra accessories here and there. Now, once again, Rabid Hedgehog does not work for this dealership, just a madman with an opinion, and they give me the opportunity to ride these wonderful machines. So we'll kind of walk up over here, kind of show you some information here. So your key for your ignition is actually back over here by the engine. When you come up here, now this one's had an added 12-volt outlet, a SOHC cruise control, adjustable levers for the brake, not for the clutch. Let me see, engine cutoff switch, engine start on the right. On the left, you just have your single headlight beam, turn signals, and horn. Down here, you have a very simple setup down here. You have your turn indication, bright indication, neutral indication, fuel injection indication, fuel indication, water indication, fuel gauge, speedometer, clock, hit mode, odometer, trip odometer. Very simple machine here. Let's go ahead and mount it up, take her for a ride. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and hop up on this thing here. And you can see it's quite wide, big gas tank on it. We'll put all the specifications down below in the description if you've never seen my channel before. So that way you can see what this thing weighs and all the fun stuff on it. You can see here, it's a low seat height, so my knee comes down, bends, flat-footed on the ground there, both sides, no big deal. Forward mounted, so when you come up here, knee is pretty much flush with the tank, straight out there to the brake pedal, straight out there to the transmission. This is a 5-speed transmission on this one, cable operated clutch. Go ahead and get this thing started here. All right, check mirrors here, make sure we can see. Of course, this one has the added windshield bag, little windshield here, everything like that. Go ahead and do a friction zone check for you folks. All right, so you can see right there, when you got one, or the position 1 here at the open position, 2, round 3, 3.5 to 4 is where friction zone is. So it takes a little bit of time for it to get there. All right. Now the hallmark of these particular motorcycles is, of course, the very thin front tire and the very wide back tire kind of sort of combination. Alrighty. Now, of course, this is a liquid-cooled V-twin. And this one is actually stock, so it's got the stock mufflers and stock baffles, stock everything in it. So it is not a modified machine, except for the added little accessories here and there. Not a fan of these, by the way. They kind of limit the snapback of your throttle, so it's kind of, that's why they're called suicide cruises, is because, well, if you screw up, it can kill you. Stuck you in wide open position. All right. Now, front fork is traditional fork, so it's not anything special, just a normal everyday fork, non-adjustable. Back is preload adjustable on the suspension. So far I left it at the preset that it was at the store, so more than likely it's not quite set up for my physique, but Rabid Hedgehog is a lighter hedgehog these days. Rabid Hedgehog is now 209 pounds, 32-inch inseam, around 6 foot tall. Let you know how long, how wide, and all that fun stuff. All right. Getting up on the highway there, I will say that the response of the throttle is not tremendous, but it ain't bad either. Now that we're sitting at highway speed, unfortunately there is no tachometer. I cannot tell you what your engine rev is, but I will say the engine's about halfway in its rev band just by listening to it, just by the way it feels. This engine, you can for sure actually feel some vibrations. Definitely feel them up through the handlebars and in the foot pegs right now. However, they're not heavy duty vibrations, and you can actually see that the mirror is fairly clear with a little bit of vibe to them, if you can kind of see that. I know the GoPro sometimes hides that information with its stabilizations and other things. Alrighty. Ergonomically, everything is really easy in reach of the rider. Your engine cutoff switch in case emergency, very quick to get to. Starter, all that's real easy. So nice wide grips. I have a 3XL glove on this hand right now. So my hands are absolutely big, so having these giant grips is a fantastic thing for somebody whose hand is large. So they're very comfortable grips. Mirrors are actually really good in positioning. Really don't actually see you because you got a nice wide low bar on this bike, so you can actually pretty much just see the lanes behind you with no intrusion of your shoulders or elbows or anything like that. Engine braking is also fantastic on this motorcycle, but once again, that's a hallmark of a V-twin. Dropped her down into fourth gear there for us here. Going over the broken roads, I can say that the suspension does need a little bit of work. Of course, like I said, I'm fairly heavy, and this bike itself is kind of big for what it's built on. It's a bike that I call plus one. It's basically a motorcycle that's a bigger motorcycle built on a slightly smaller platform, and it should have a bigger engine, but you know, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. It still handles the road just fine, and that width actually helps it be more comfortable for somebody who's a little bit larger and sitting on a seat like this. But it's really comfortable, actually, the seating position overall. You actually slightly lean back on this machine. Your elbows and shoulders are pretty much in line with each other, or perpendicular, I should say. So you have your shoulder coming straight back to the elbow and then up to your shoulder. But a really nice, comfortable cruising position. Like I said, suspension could probably use a little work. Probably a little bit too light for a motorcycle this big, or me being this big as well. Gotta say, you look down there, you can see that size 14 foot hanging out there, and you can see there's plenty of room on these pegs to avoid the control surfaces when you don't need them, which I like. It helps me keep my feet tucked away and comfortable. So, very comfortable riding machine. I will say, in the higher RPM range, it actually helps the balance of this motorcycle's engine. It doesn't vibrate as hard. Like I said, I dropped a gear so I could go a little bit slower through there, and not being in fifth gear has helped this thing not feel so vibrating. It is helping that out. You can still feel a little bit of vibrations coming through on the pegs and up here in the handlebar as well. But not as bad. It's a little bit better. That's the engine a little bit more, and it seems to like it a little bit more. I'm going to go back up there. All right, kind of bogging her down a little bit. Those vibes have more or less returned. So this bike actually likes to be revved a little bit more freely than most of your American V-twins that like to, you know, be in the 2,300 to 3,000 RPM range. Just wants to stay a little bit higher, feels like. All right, now we're free and clear of that. We'll go ahead and kick back up speed. As you can see in top gear, actually picked up speed quite nicely. A little bit faster than I was expecting, to be honest. Now going over the pavement, I don't know if you can hear the chop in the voice, but definitely, like I said, the suspension does bounce quite a bit. But it's not too jarring at all. I kind of like that. Sometimes just that mechanical bond with the machine. One thing I do say is I never have liked console mounted speedometers. I've said that a million times on this page. I don't like looking down to see what I'm doing, basically. I like it to be up there. But it's still a very readable gauge because it's quite large. So if you just glance with your eyes, you can see all the information very quickly. And I do like the fact that it's done in increments of 10 for the large, 5 for the line, so that way you can see it much easier and pretty clearly. Let's do our true test of the engine braking on this. You can see this thing is slowing down quite nicely. That's a third gear pull from around 40 miles an hour. Took a bit, about 3 seconds to get to 50 again. So it's not the most powerful machine. Sounds really good though. Like I said, this is actually a stock setup on this machine. Front end dives pretty heavily under braking, I will give it that. Alright, from a rolling start, that wasn't bad at all. Got up to 45 really quickly. Transmission shifts real smoothly. Clutch operation, like I said, pretty far out there, but not too bad. Everything works very springily, very well. Some of these bumps, I mean, this road doesn't look like it has bumps, but you could feel bumps that you didn't know were there. The suspension definitely amplifies those. All right. Not half bad on that roll-on acceleration. A lot more surprising than I was expecting, to be honest. Go over this crackage here. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, yeah, I'll buck you off the seat when you're on the bad roads. But you know, it's actually more comfortable than your Harley-Davidson Sportster suspension. I will give it. But not the Roadster. The Roadster Sportster has the best suspension in the Sportster division, but the Iron, if you're looking at this and an Iron, which are very similar in size, characteristics, V-twins, near 900cc class, this is going to be what that compares to, and this one definitely has a better suspension than that motorcycle. That was the first motorcycle I ever owned. I have quite a few thousand miles on Iron 83s. I'll let you know this one is a more comfortable machine, and I like the more spread out characteristic of this machine. I like the fact that it is a forward mount. Something that Iron could possibly use is get a little bit more forward out on the machine, and that way, because of how narrow it is, for somebody who's a little bit taller to be able to fit that machine a little bit better, this one does allow that to happen quite nicely. And it comes through significantly less cost too. Like, this is an 09 variant for $2,900 right now that's used, and everything's great on it. Fit and finish is still good on it. I would say it's not on par with Harley-Davidson. I mean, that's one thing about the metric cruisers, is they're not quite on par. There's a lot of things hanging around that you just don't got on the Sportster. So, you know, your turn signals are, you know, you got to cancel them, self-canceling on Sportsters and stuff like that. But the thing is, you're still getting quite a lot of bang for your buck here for a 900cc class cruiser. And it's just super, super comfortable. I like the seat quite a bit better too. And of course, it's a much bigger, wider seat, much bigger, wider motorcycle, longer motorcycle. Does have the passenger backrest on this one. It does allow for passengers a little bit easier than the Sportster, which, like I said, more narrow platform, not as easy to handle basically when you got a passenger. But this one is doing just fine. Like I said, it's got an incredibly tall front wheel that's thin. And the back wheel's a fat machine on this one. And the thing is it flicks very nicely actually in the corners. I'll take it up here in a moment, but through these turns and through everything I've done so far, it handles quite nicely. Kind of laying on the brakes there real fast, and braking on this machine is very good for what it is. It's not a, complex braking system, definitely a single front rotor and single disc in the back as well. So not anything special, not a special setup. Ooh, I see traffic up there. I'm in the wrong lane now. And a signal I want to get back over here, guys. All right, we're going to take this alternative direction here to avoid traffic. It gives me a little bit longer time to think about how this thing rides and what it's going to be good for. Like I said, it's definitely smoother and more potent than the 883 iron. Of course, having a liquid-cooled engine does help and aid in that, because you can put more power down when you have liquid cooling to keep the engine more cooled reliably. And dare I say, I like this better than the Yamaha Bolt as well. The Bolt and I have never gotten along. It's just such an awkward motorcycle, in my opinion. I don't like the way the engine has that small little wire that comes off of it to keep your knee off of it so it doesn't burn. I don't like the way the seat is so narrow in the front and kind of cuts into you weird in your legs and thighs and stuff. I'm not a fan of that too much. There's just some weird things about the Bolt. It's just so awkward, and it's trying too hard to be a Sportster when Yamaha could have went this direction and made it a big, heavier looking cruiser, but still make it adequate for what you're looking to do. So when it comes to this versus the Bolt versus the Sportster, I would have to say this is going to be first, Sportster next, Bolt last. Because I definitely do like this quite a bit more than the Sportster that I put thousands of miles on when I first had one. It's definitely way more comfortable. The seat is wonderful. There's a little backstop for you as well on this particular seat that's on it. Like I said, the feet forward position, wider mount. The legs aren't as tired. It's not being pressed up against something weird like your air intake. It's just working perfectly. The big handlebars, the wide handlebars, big thick grips. The ergonomics are just great. They're all oversized. It helps for somebody who's like me, who's oversized, if you want to say that. I like it quite a bit because of those attributes. And like I said, when it comes to it, everything's just great on it. The suspension's been, a little bit soft, a little bit shaky, a little bit bouncy here and there. You do need to probably adjust some preload here and there. Of course, the front side you can't. That does dive quite a bit. But overall, I believe this motorcycle is a great motorcycle for in town. Definitely has the chops to make it through in town. It's definitely flickable enough. It's definitely light enough on its feet. It has great power and acceleration to get away from traffic situations. Braking is good if somebody pulls out in front of you and does something stupid. Transmission is great. Easy to use in and around town if you got to change gears, if somebody does stuff. It's just, everything works great around town. It works great for the mid-range. I believe that this bike would be great for mid-range, but I can see where the vibes will get a little bit tiresome if you do take it on longer range rides.
But this thing is just darn perfect for what I'm doing right now, for a pretty extended stay inside the city, but also for a decent ride out in the country and back. A lot of this I'm doing with my engine braking on this motorcycle too, and that helps save fuel and everything when it comes down to it, when you're in the city. So it's great to have that on this motorcycle as well. Wow. Alrighty here. So just a nice little ride through the city, and it just handles this very, very well. Like I said, so comfortable. Now what do we got? We say comfortable riding the city, and then you got all the fun in the world happening up here, so. Ooh. Nasty. Okay then, so we get by that wreck there, and we'll go back to my final thoughts there. So at any rate, when it comes down to it, this bike is just so darn perfect for what we're doing with it right now. Taking it through the city, it's a great motorcycle for that. Like I said, if you're gonna go out to the country roads, hit it up, get right through some canyons, have some fun with it, definitely a bike for that as well. It's comfortable enough for your medium ranges, I would say. And of course, in the comments below, you guys can let me know, you know, how good is this on extremely long range trips? Because like I said, I think the vibrations would get to you at a point, because they definitely don't cease. They get better at higher RPM, but you're not always going to be riding at that level. So when it comes down to it, if you're looking for a solid motorcycle, and you're looking in the division that has the 900cc class cruisers like the 883 Sportster, like the Bolt, and like this bike here, I have to say, I would take this bike over all of them, because of how comfortable it is, how well it rides, how good it looks. I mean, it looks like a classic cruiser. Awesome stance, great ride, overall good package for a really decent amount of money. Brand new and used. Like I said, there's a bunch of these out there. This one here being a 2009 model at $2,900, 6,300 miles on it. Just another example of what's out there if you're looking for a motorcycle in the market today. At any rate, this is the Rabid Hedgehog once again riding out of Indian of Oklahoma City. We appreciate them once more. I'm not an owner of that dealership. I am not anybody who has any interest in that dealership. I'm just a madman with an opinion, and they're great people to work with. So catch them down below. I'll put them in the comments below, or description I should say. It allows you to take a look at their website, take a look at their contact information. So if you're looking for a bike like this, give them a call. They'll go anywhere for you. They'll do a lot of things for you. They're some of the best people to work with. At any rate, keep that shiny side up, folks. We'll catch you on the next review.
What's up, everybody? This is the Rabid Hedgehog, and once again, thank you for watching our videos. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, mash that notification button. That way you get the latest content as it comes out from us. We are thankful for our viewers. We're also thankful for our sponsors. We have Law Tigers, motorcycle lawyers nationwide. Right now, they are out there riding with you because they are part of our community. But if you are in trouble and in need of assistance with any accident or any motorcycle law question, give them a call. They are at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-844-533-2914, or visit lawtigers.com. Also, if you're looking to protect your engine with quality synthetic lubricants, give Doug Crawford a call. He's with USA Synthetics, distributing AMS oil products. He can be found at usasynthetics.com or 405-388-6170. And if you're looking to protect yourself, protect your ride, or protect your house, whatever it might be, give Derek Enloe and Associates a call if you're in the Oklahoma area. He will be able to help you out and protect whatever you might have. Give him a call at 405-261-1010 or visit enloeinsurance.com. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we'll catch you on that next ride.